Welcome to episode 5. Today we have a very packed episode. We will start by doing some ventilation system for the enclosure for the Voron, and then do some unboxings, and afterwards we will receive the printed ABS plastic parts for the build and do some assembly there as well. So yeah, and that's what you're seeing in the background, by the way. So without further delay, let's get to it. Another thing I need to figure out is venting our enclosure, the cabinet. As I said before, I'm not going with the side panels for the Voron. I'll just put it in here. But that means that one, electronics may overheat, and two, when printing with stuff like ABS, I will need to vent this with a filter or something, otherwise the toxic fumes will get out. So yeah, don't mind the cat, by the way. I need a way of venting this place. That probably means just drilling a circular hole, mounting a fan and a carbon filter to it. But yeah, I want to figure out whatever is the best solution. So this is what I came up with. I've made some progress on the ducting system. As you can see, the fan is now ready. I used the same rubber foot that we will use on the Voron on this as well, but I only have two, so we'll see if it just droops over the side or just sits properly. Anyway, this will go in here, probably behind the printer itself, and then I'll have this flexible ducting coming out of here. It will go up in there and then come out this hole. I haven't punched it out yet, but that's because it's late. I'll do it tomorrow. And yeah, it will do another zigzaggy thing like this or something, because I couldn't drill that hole higher because there actually is a shelf in there. You can probably make that out from this. So yeah, it will do that movement, and from there it will go here, and yeah, this is just a solid plastic duct that will run here. I'll need 50 more centimeters or something like that, so I'll cut that from this second piece and add that to the end. And when we reach the end, all it's gonna do is turn around like this. Then we'll need like a tiny piece that, yeah, like this length is about 10 centimeters if I remember correctly, coming out of here to be able to mount this. This will basically come out like so, and that one I'll be able to route out of the window whenever I need to print something in ABS. So yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully it will go well. So yeah, I'll get to this, I guess, and then I'll come back to you. After 2 days of work, the fume extraction system is finally ready. As you can see, it isn't the prettiest thing in the world, but it should get the job done. So as I explained before, the idea is, well, I remove this here and then just route it out of the window. I just used this spare IKEA thing here to hold it in place. As I said, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but hopefully it will get the job done. So here it routes inside the cabinet, and here is the fan itself. Obviously it will stay back here when we are using it, but yeah, that's the idea. I haven't tested this yet. Order from Mouser is here, and we have everything that I ordered from there. Starting with the main power supply, the LRS 224. This is the 200 watt 24 volt, basically the main power supply for the system. And here we have 50 watt 12 volt and 5 volt power supplies. Basically the 5 volt is for powering the Raspberry Pi, 12 volt is mostly for fans, and yeah, maybe there's something else that I need to power through these that I don't remember. Here we have the main 40mm fan, and this is a Delta one actually, And here are the two blower fans. These are for the default extruder system that's included with the main parts, but well, that's because when I started sourcing these, the afterburner didn't come out yet. I plan on switching to afterburner fairly quickly, but again, I also ordered my printed forward parts based on the regular design, so yeah, that's not gonna be the case initially, but yeah, the printed forward, the afterburner thing, the direct drive system looks pretty cool, so yeah, I think that's what I'll end up with in the long run. And I'll probably use the Triangle Lab Dragon extruder with that as well. Again, when I started sourcing these, that hadn't come out. Only option was Mosquito or just an E3DV6 clone. So that's what I went with, but yeah, I'll probably switch to that at some point. Anyway, moving on, this is the power socket slash EMI filter slash fuse holder. I expected the fuses to be in there, but they're not, so yeah, I'll try to source them locally, I guess. Here are the main Omron switches. And finally, here we have the, again, Omron solid state relay. This is for controlling the heat bed. And yeah, that's about it for Mouser parts. My Raspberry 4 has arrived, and as you can see, I also mounted a heatsink to it, because Raspberry Pi 4 has some heating issues, as you may know. So hopefully this will be good enough. Also, there should be some airflow in the electronics chamber anyway, because I'll use some fans. So yeah, I think this will work good enough. The plastic parts for the Voron build have arrived from the printed forward program, and yeah, let's take a look at them. I'm going with a black and gray build. I don't know if I mentioned it before or not. I'm not going with the stock black and red theme. So yeah, let's take a look at them. Here are the drag chain parts. These look like electronic mounting pieces and panel mounting stuff here as well. Yeah, this is the motor assembly. More motor assemblies, probably some of them were the Z-axis, others were the X and Y. Rest of the drag chain, I think. And here we have the gray parts, the accent color parts. I have assembled some of the parts as much as I can assemble without the extrusions and rails. And I decided to give you a look at this stuff because that's probably gonna be it for this episode. So yeah, let's start with the Z motors. There's more here, but yeah, it's just taking a close look at it. I couldn't mount the motors yet because, well, the extrusions need to mount first, but yeah, basically there's gonna be a belt loop going like that, and the motor will go here. And this is the Z-belt tensioner that goes on the opposite side. Here is the Z end stop. This has a Omron switch inside here, as you can see, and I'm sure you can hear it. It's working well. This is the carriage. Not much of it, obviously, because they have to. This has to mount the rails through here, and without doing that, I can't mount anything more on this. So yeah, that's as much as that's assembled. Here we have the fully assembled Mobius 3.1 extruder. It mounts on an extrusion like this with screws here, and yeah, you can see how it works. It's cured, as you can see, and inside this the guts are basically just PNG clones from Triangle Lab. And yeah, we'll see how well this works, but as I said before, in the long run I'll definitely switch to the Afterburner or the Flex 3 drive. I'm not gonna stick with this because, well, as I explained before, I'm not a fan of Bowden setups. Here we have the A and B motor assembly. Again, these are fully assembled, and yeah, here we can see the complicated drag chain system which you have with Core XY systems, obviously. And yeah, this also has a belt to transfer the rotation, but it's not geared, as you can see. Unlike the Z and unlike the extruder, the A and B motors aren't geared. And you'll also notice that I mounted heatsinks on all of the motors. I don't think that's necessary, but you know, I saw some on AliExpress, I ordered them because why not? And yeah, I think, you know, they can't hurt, at least. I don't know if they'll help or not, but yeah, whatever. And here you can actually get a good idea of the color combination. The print quality on this specific part isn't perfect, but yeah, you can see how well the color combination works. I think I'm pretty happy with it. I'm glad that I didn't go with just another red build, just like my Tavo Black Widow, or basically the default color scheme for the Voron builds. It's a little different, at least. And this is the, again, a tensioner that is on the X and Y axis assembly. And yeah, that's all I've managed to assemble. As I said, without the extrusions and the rails I can't do any more assembly. And I actually sorted these out a little differently as well. For example, these are just panel mounts that I'm not gonna use. Here are the electronic mounts. Again, I'll show this when I get to assembling the electronics. Here are the remaining carriage parts. This is just drag chain, probably X and Y drag chain, I'm guessing, because this is Z drag chain, obvious from the fact that this thing is included. And here are the remaining gray parts. So yeah, there's still a decent amount to do. And yeah, as soon as I receive the remaining parts, I'll get to it. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a like down below, and thanks for watching.